morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and today is September the 17th. I hope that you're doing well this morning. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the screen for the Just for Today. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. Looking forward to hearing from you. You can reach out to me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I'm sure you can tell my voice is a little bit different. Still a tad bit under the weather, but my spirits are good. So let's go ahead and get started. September 18th, honest relationships. One of the most profound changes in our lives is in the realm of personal relationships. That comes from the basic text, page 57. Recovery gives many of us relationships that are closer and more intimate than any we've ever had, or rather, any we've had before. I'm ad-libbing. At time, as time passes, we find ourselves gravitating toward those who eventually become our friends, our sponsor, and our partners in life. Shared laughter, tears, and struggles bring shared respect and lasting empathy. What then do we do when we find that we don't agree with our friends on everything? We may discover that we don't share the same taste in music as our dearest friend, or that we don't agree with our spouse about how the furniture should be arranged, or even find ourselves voting differently than our sponsor at a service committee meeting. Does conflict mean that the friendship, the marriage, or the sponsorship is over? No. These types of conflicts are not only to be expected in any long-lasting relationship, but are actually an indication that both people are emotionally healthy and honest individuals. In any relationship where both people agree on absolutely everything, chances are that only one person is doing the thinking. If we sacrifice our honesty and integrity to avoid conflicts or disagreements, we give away the best of what we bring to our relationships. We experience the full measure of partnership with another human being when we are fully honest. Just for today, I will welcome the differences that make each one of us special. Today, I will work on being myself. Beautiful. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. I wonder why it is sometimes when I say that small prayer, I feel it more deeply than at other times. I think for me, asking for the wisdom to know the difference it puts things in perspective for me. For instance, this groggy voice of mine that clearly is unwell. I can't change that. And it's disturbing me, but I need to move forward and have this discussion with you today and talk about where are we with honest relationships. I do like the point that if you're in a relationship and you agree on absolutely everything, that probably one person is doing the thinking, but even beyond that, I would have to say one person is probably being true to how they feel. If you're agreeing on absolutely everything, that's wonderful. There's less conflict. However, I think because we're individuals with different makeups, different history, that it's impossible for us to always agree. Some people will use, some people will use, um, how would you put it? I don't want to say dishonesty, even though the topic here is honest relationships. Some people will use a very lackadaisical, uh, non-reactive, passive, I would say passive approach to most things because they think it helps them to avoid conflict. And it's only through exercising your voice and voicing your opinion, being honest about how you feel, and being able to take that risk. It's only through that that you begin to learn that you're not going to experience conflict the way that you think on a knockout, drag out argument about politics. You're not going to experience that. Generally speaking, I have found when you're in a relationship with someone that loves you, that you have mutual respect for, when you take an opportunity to express how you truly feel, that when that happens, what I have found is that the other person, one, they're amazed that you're finally speaking up. Two, there seems to be this spirit of happiness or in awe or joy because now they feel as though you trust them enough to give your true self, your authentic self. And they welcome that. So today, if that's you, if you're a person that you could sort of shrink away from your authentic self, expressing your true opinions, because you're the type of person that hates conflict, today I want you to pay attention to those quiet, subtle thoughts that you have when you're interacting with someone. And I'll tell you what it looks like for me so that you have, I'm sure you know yourself well enough, but I'll tell you how it plays out with me so that maybe you can notice it for yourself and understand what I'm asking you to pay attention to. And then I'll go on to the individual that always has to express their opinion. Okay? So, how passiveness looks for me is I'll be in a conversation with someone and they'll say something like my eyes almost light up. They'll say something that excites me internally. And I know full well that I don't agree with them. But I'm excited in the sense that they seem passionate about what they're saying and that they actually believe what they're saying. Not that I'm questioning that they believe it, but they're passionate enough about it that it shows me that they truly believe what they're saying. And I'm amazed also because on the same topic, I feel the exact opposite. I feel the exact opposite. I just don't have the courage, right, to express myself the way that they are. And in that moment of realization of what's going on, I'll start excusing myself from expressing my authentic opinion about it. My mind will tell me things like, girl, you don't have all day for this conversation. First of all, they just talked for the last 30 minutes. You got something else you need to do. And if you interject right here, the conversation is never going to end. That's one thing I might tell myself. The other thing I might tell myself is, if they're that passionate about that, I'm sure this will end in an argument if I say what I really think. It's not worth it. I'll keep the peace. After all, shouldn't we be keeping the peace with all people as much as it relies upon us? I'll throw a scripture at myself. Okay? Or one that I think is probably goes deeper is, why tell them now? You've had this conversation with them before and you've never told them what you really thought. Let them keep on thinking the world evolves around them. Just walk away. So there's a pattern of me dismissing my true thoughts, my authentic self, in favor of people pleasing, in favor of the other person. So now I want you to take a few minutes when we're done here, and I want you to think about how dishonest are you actually in your relationship? And then I want you to think of one person you absolutely know that you are going to encounter today. And you pretty much know verbatim what they're going to say. And you know you feel the opposite way. And I want you to think about a different response. Now, if it's come up before and you never have told them the truth, I would recommend you say something like, excuse me, can I say something here? I'm going to take a risk. So you're already letting them know you need to stop talking. I have something I want to say. And I'm taking a risk on that you might not like what I'm about to say, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. I have something I want to say here, but I'm going to take a risk and just say it. And then go into what you want to say. Or you can say, when they're done, if you don't want to interrupt them, and say, excuse me, just nod your head and you said, you know what? I've listened to you say that many a time. And I always walk away thinking that you're very passionate about that. But I'm wondering if you have an open mind, because I personally, I don't agree with that. You see how smooth that was? I've listened to you say that several times. And I always walk away thinking whether or not you're open-minded on this. Because I don't agree with that. Let me tell you what my thoughts are and go ahead and get into it. Today, I'm excited for you because I think that I just gave you a tool on how to push away the passiveness and not become passive aggressive, but to move into your authentic self. Now, when you're done, they may come back with any kind of response. But what I want you to remember is this is just practice. No matter what they say, whether they agree with you, disagree with you, or express appreciation for you finally saying what's on your mind, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they say something positive, say, well, I just want to say thank you for listening. I thought I should share that with you. You don't have to affirm the negative or the positive. You just need to get into the habit of expressing your authentic self. Today, I want you to do that with one person. And then when you get the courage again, I want you to pay attention to those thoughts of you trying to dismiss yourself, excuse yourself from being authentic. And I want you to seize that opportunity. Seize it. I want you to practice, practice, practice. Now, just one word to the individual that is very expressive, very opinionated. You are your authentic self. You always have something to say. You're the dominant voice in most conversations. To you, I applaud you. However, just like I demonstrated the individual that is super passive, most people around you are passive. Most people around you probably are afraid to confront you or have a confrontation with you. Most people around you are probably people pleasing you, trying to make sure you're okay because they view you as having all the power. I want you to stop and check that. I don't want you to stop being authentic. I want you to stop running your mouth. I want for you to give other people an opportunity to express themselves without all the hype, without all the energy. They shouldn't have to always encounter your over 10 self, right? I want you to bring the energy and be your authentic self, but I want you to start being more considerate of other individuals, okay? So for you, what that looks like, right? No, I applaud you. I think authenticity is important, but I want for you to pause. Start paying attention when you're kicking it into high drive. Bring it down a notch because probably more than likely, people think you're yelling. People think you're over the top, right? I want you to bring your voice down a notch to, let's say, the sound of your voice if you were trying to whisper something to someone. You won't get exactly there when you're in a conversation, but I want you to aim for dropping the hype. Bring it down a little bit. Just like that. You heard me? Bring it down a little bit, right? And then take a pause. Pay attention to who you're interacting with. And I want for you to take a break, take a breath, take a pause, and say, I know we've had this conversation before. You rarely ever express your opinion. I'm sorry. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Ask them. I'm interested in what are you thinking? And do it in a pleasant way, like with a smile or softer eyes. I want for you to come away from I'm in charge and everything is going my way type attitude, right? If I said it, that's the way it's got to be. I want you to come away from that because what you're actually doing is repelling people. When they may not say it to you, but when they walk away, they thinking like, dang, I can't wait. I don't need all that negative energy. I don't need, they are thinking, how soon can they get away from this interaction every day with you? Stop. The world does not evolve around you, even if it's yours, right? Even if it's your house, right? Even if you the boss, it's your car, right? The world does not evolve around just you. There's billions of people that have different opinions than you. And I know that you're not intentionally trying to shut everyone down, but you've done it for so long and no one has ever checked you. Consider this a soft check through MightyStream, okay? Consider this a soft check, your opportunity to change the dynamics around you. Because those people around you have an opinion, but they think that they're going to have to fight with you in order to express it. But they're not, because you're going to stop the behavior and you're going to now tone it down a little bit and take a break in the expression and give them the floor. Your life will be greater for it. Listen, I've enjoyed your company this morning. I need to refresh and get this throat ready for the next podcast. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I will, God willing, I will be talking to you again, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a beautiful day on purpose.